Hey everyone, I'm Joe. It's Friday. I'm feeling pretty good. Um, so I want to start out this post, my third post, by the way, um, by openly supporting the Phillies. They have a big game tonight, and this shirt is actually my roommate's. He really, really wanted me to support the Phillies for like on the video thing. So he gave me this shirt to wear as advertisement, uh, and so that's what I'm doing. Anyway, the weather here is super weirdly nice. It's like it's 84 here right now, and I should remind you that it's the 7th of October. It should be a lot colder than it is. Um, and it's actually 81 in Duluth today, which is, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Duluth, and that's so warm for Duluth. It's ridiculous. And I'm just looking at the 10-day forecast, and it's gonna be like high 70s all of next week too, and I'm so excited. I've been waiting for Indian summer for so long, and especially since this winter, this in June in Duluth, it was 50 degrees all through the month of June, and I wanted to kill myself. It was so bad. Um, so this week, it's been pretty up and down. Like I've been feeling some days pretty good, some days pretty not good. Like last night, I felt like crap. I felt like I had a fever or something. So I took some ibuprofen and went to bed pretty early at like 9:30. Today I'm feeling pretty good. It's just been a lot of meds this week, which is something that I don't necessarily like. I try to stay away from like medication and whatnot because I feel like it's um, not good to put stuff like that into your body. Um, but I got my bike back from the shop on Tuesday, and it's super awesome. So what I ended up getting was new front brake calipers, new tires. They trued the back wheel, so it's straighter now. I need to replace it soon. It's a really old wheel. It's falling apart. But they also fixed the back brake lines. Like, they cleaned them up and lubed them and stuff. And all in all, my bike is working better than ever before. And I actually, last night, I think it was, yeah, no, 2 nights ago? On Wednesday, yeah, 2 nights ago, I went to the Hub, which is the bike center on campus. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last video. But they have open shop nights on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I got to retape my handlebars. So I have this awesome silver tape, and it's really squishy, and it's really nice, and it's really cool. And I got to do it myself. I learned how to do it because of the open shop nights. Um, so that's pretty cool. On Wednesday, I went after my class got over with. I went to Uptown. I rode my bike to Uptown, and that's like 6 or so miles away. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day, and I got to use some of Minneapolis's awesome bike trails. So to get there, I went into Riverside, and then I took the Hiawatha Light Rail line, or the Hiawatha Light Rail Trail, actually, to the Midtown Greenway, and the Midtown Greenway stretches for like 4 miles, well, a really long ways across, kind of like east-west across Minneapolis, and it's just beautiful. It's an old railroad track that's kind of like sunken into the city, and it's really a nice bike ride, and it's so easy to get to Uptown from here. It took me like less than 20 minutes, um, and it was my first time really using Minneapolis's bike system, and I'm super, super impressed. I went to Uptown because I wanted to go to the Apple Store. I hung out there for a little bit and I spent too much money on something I really shouldn't have. But I did decide I'm not going to get the new iPhone. But after I got back from the Apple Store, I filled out an application to um, work at the Apple stores. Like, I applied to the Rosedale one, the Uptown one, and the Mall of America one, and all three of those ones are pretty easily accessible with public transportation from the U of M campus, so that's pretty cool. On a side note, I got a call back from Mesa Pizza. I applied there like 3 weeks ago, and I got a call back from them yesterday, and I have an interview now scheduled on Sunday afternoon, so hopefully that'll pan out to be something, and their availability, or the position that they have open, works perfectly with my schedule, so that's really awesome. Hopefully that'll turn into something cool. But like I was saying, I applied for a job at Apple, and I posted on my Facebook that I had applied for a job at Apple, and literally a minute afterwards, all the news came out about Steve Jobs' death. So it was like the timing was just weird. And a bunch of my friends commented on my status and made jokes that I had applied for the position of CEO. But I'm on the note of Steve Jobs' death. I just wanted to kind of share with you a few things about that, like from my point of view. Um, like I've been kind of reflecting over the stuff that he brought to us over the course of his life. I Below I'll post a link to a great like mini biography that one of my favorite sites, CNET, did. You can see that in the description of the video below. But like without Steve Jobs, we wouldn't have had Pixar. We wouldn't have had a graphical user interface, which is basically, for those of you who don't know, it's how we run our computers. It's how we click on things, and we would still be entering commands into computers. He brought that about through his Nextech company, which is what he did when he wasn't working at Apple during the early 90s. He also defined technological presentations with his Steve Notes anytime he unveiled a product. And he basically is responsible, in my opinion, for the personal computing revolution. Without him, there would be no Apple, and there would be so much less in the world. But I just want to share with you a quotation from my sister. She posted about Steve Jobs on she put a link on something, and so this is just what she said on her Facebook. She said, "Yesterday I was marveling at the fact that my iPhone 3GS has now become the free iPhone that you get with a new contract or an upgrade. Today I marvel at the man who made that incredible piece of machinery available to the world. Steve Jobs created the apparati that have changed my life. I'm forever thankful for his creative energy and vision. But most of all, I'm thankful for a man who has proved that heroes can be nerds and that it is still possible to change the world." Which is really pretty cool. But kind of segueing from that, I want to talk about Tim Cook. Tim Cook is the new CEO of Apple. He took over from Steve. Actually, he's been the CEO a few times. Previously, when Steve took a few medical leaves, but now he's officially the CEO since Steve Jobs resigned in August. But for those, lots of people don't know that Tim Cook is gay. And he's, in fact, by many counts, the most powerful gay man in the world. And it's kind of something to think about, like, should anybody who's talking about Tim Cook, should they be considering his sexuality? And on that note, on a broader sense, when we're talking about a very, very powerful person, say Oprah, for example, should we be talking about the fact that she's black? Should we be talking about the fact that she's a woman? Basically, should we, as a society, consider it remarkable? Or the best example, I guess, is President Obama. Is it important to the society that he is our first black president? And should we make a big deal out of it? So that's the question I'm kind of posing to you guys. You can comment about it or whatever, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of, it's been on my mind a lot. But I was reading some articles about it, and in my opinion, you shouldn't ignore his sexuality. It's when you ignore that kind of thing, it kind of reinforces the stereotype, or the stereotype that, it's bad to be gay. Like, the institution of the closet is one of fear, one where people would rather be ignored than noticed, because they fear the negative repercussions of being known to be gay. It's an institution which Cook, like many gay men born in 1960, knows at first hand. But now the risk of being ignored is bigger in the other direction. If the world can't see gay men and women in all their true diversity, if the only homosexuals they know are the flamboyant ones on TV, then that only serves to perpetuate the stereotypes. And by the way, that was a quotation from a website on a Reuters blog. I'll post a link below. I encourage you to take a look. I'm also posting another link kind of on that same tangent, or on that same topic. But it's something that I've just been thinking about lately, and I think that it's important to notice those differences and to talk about them and make sure that people are paying attention. Um, uh, so yeah, other kind of final thoughts that have been rolling through my head lately was yesterday was um, the 13th anniversary, or it was 13 years ago yesterday that Matthew Shepard was attacked, and I just wanted to read a little clip from one of the blogs that I was reading about that. So it says, 13 years ago tonight, Matthew Shepard was lured to a rural road, tied up, pistol-whipped, and left for dead, simply because he was gay. He wasn't found for nearly a day, still barely alive in the 30-degree weather, and the only part of his face, not covered by blood, was where the tears had streamed down. The attack on Matthew, and his subsequent death a few days later, was a galvanizing moment for the gay community. It was one of only a handful of moments I can think of in the 20 years that I've been out that something changed in all of us nationwide at a much larger meta level. And once again, that was a quote from an article online. I'll post that below too, so you guys can take a look. But it's just kind of noting that anniversary reminds us how far we can get in 13 years and kind of where we are today. But then you also have to think about how much farther we still have to go. It kind of goes along with what I mentioned with President Obama and the Human Rights Campaign last week, or on Monday. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to leave you with that. Like the video, comment on it, tweet it, Facebook it, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is jfifield, Fifield 116. You can find that below also. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys next time.